Whatever you want to do, we shall do. Up, you're muted.
I know. I sat there and I was sitting there chatting and I was like, anyway, I wonder if my microphone's muted, but I'm on my side, if the closed captioning would still pick me up.
We'll have to try that sometime.
I'll try that out and see. Anyway, I think I'm gonna let you kick it off and then I'll do it next week.
Sounds like a plan. Well, welcome everybody to our 6th or 7th virtual coffee for the College of Arts and Science students. It's great to have the students here. We have some special guests here today who I'll introduce in a minute. Before I do that, let me do like we always do every week, and I'm just going to take 2 seconds and introduce you to the Teams environment for anybody that may be joining us for the first time today. If hopefully you're seeing my Teams room right now. And what you're looking at here is the magic ribbon, and this is really all you'll need to know as a survival mechanism inside Teams. If you wiggle your mouse or do whatever you Mac users do, it'll come up. This is where you turn your webcam and your mic on and off. This is where you would share something if you were going to present. This is more actions where you could blur your background or pick a cool background like Dr. Velarde has right there. And here's if you want some help during the meeting where you can reach us through the chat box. Hello, everyone. All right. And this is where you can see who else is in the meeting. And we just do ask that everybody keep themselves muted when they're not talking, because if there's more than 3 of us in a room, then sometimes there can be some audio disturbance. Let me stop sharing. And I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Leora Waldner. I'm one of your College of Arts and Science professors out in Atlanta, Georgia in public administration. And you also heard from my co-host, Dr. Robert Velarde, who is one of our math instructors, and he's the coordinator of the Montgomery campus, and he's in a beautiful background right now. So welcome, everybody. And without further ado, a lot of you came because you are dying to hear more about career services, and we are going to hook you up because we have 3 of the most talented career experts in our entire system today. So we have Ms. Lauren Cole, we have Donna Brown, and Ms. Emily Reiss. Would the 3 of you like to say hello and tell us about JWS and take it away?
Hello. I'm Donna Brown, and I'll start. I'm Donna Brown with Troy Online Career Services, and I handle our online population of students, not to get confused with everybody who's online right now. But anyway, our traditional Troy Online population of students. And I'll start by just sharing our website to give you an idea of what that looks like if you haven't seen it. And hopefully you can see it now. Okay, just what you'll do is just go to the mytroy.edu website and then hover over students, go to career services, and hopefully, voila, there it is. Okay, you'll see on the left-hand menu that all of our campuses, Alabama campuses, Insight share the same website. So you can find contact information here for the Troy campus, Troy Online, Dothan, Montgomery, Phoenix City, if you want to connect with someone that's at a particular site or location. And then also, as you scroll down, you'll see several different features. Our career guide is a guide that talks about all the career fairs, career closet, and different events that we have on campus, along with a lot of detailed information about careers and the things associated that are things that you might need to know about getting a job. The career blueprint is a more detailed 12-point, and I'll just kind of open that up right quick. I guess we have a little bit of time. It's a 12-point or step to getting a job after graduation. So if you're a graduate student, you really want to spend some time here getting prepared. And we'll go back and then talk about some of our features here. And I won't spend a lot of time because we don't have a tremendous amount of time to go into all of these buttons, but I will click on like the resume and career or cover letters and just show you that we do have some really good examples that you can use. And I will click on that one, but this is a popular resume style that you can follow. And then if you want to spend time filling out your resume or creating a resume, you can always send it to either Troy Online Career at troy.edu or Troy Career at troy.edu for feedback. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it over to Miss Emily, and I'll stop sharing here.
And Donna, you're getting a question in from Ryan Brewer. He's asking, what's the path again to get to career services from my.troy.edu? Would you mind showing that again?
Yes, just hover over students. And then here on the left-hand side, you'll see career services. And then you just click on career services and it'll take you straight into our page. And then if you want specific information about a campus, then there's specific information that caters to each campus, you know, under each category here.
Perfect. Thank you, Donna. And Ryan, I'll push that out through the chat box in a minute.
All right. And my little stop share, there it is. It's not showing up. There it is. Okay. Okay. All right. Emily, I think wants to give you some information about career counseling next.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted now. And let me share our screen back to our website. So my name is Emily Reiss, and I am the career counselor on the Troy campus. And so a lot of what I do, can y'all see what's happening?
Yes, it looks like it's coming up. So yeah, you'll minimize your Teams and you'll sign in and then we'll be able to see your screen. It is showing your screen.
Okay. It keeps popping up my sign in. Box.
The joys of two-factor authentication, right, everybody?
Just when you think you got it, you don't anymore. Okay. Okay. Am I sharing? I have no idea. Yes.
Yes, you are.
So now can you see where it says focus? Y'all see that?
You can.
Okay, so let me not get ahead of myself though. I'm going to go back to our website where Ms. Donna Brown just showed you. So still back on our career services website. My wheelhouse falls a lot within this first box right here. That's career exploration. So this is a lot of what I help students with as a career counselor. So if we click on that, I'll show you a couple of the resources on this page. And some things that could help you as either you're exploring majors or if you have your major picked once you start exploring some career paths and some options. So if you scroll down, one of the first things you'll want to do if you've never done this before or never taken a career assessment in general is we offer the focus assessment through our office. It's a free online tool. You'll just have to create an account and you'll see you'll need an access code and it's just Trojan, but it's listed right there on the website for you. And once you create that account, you'll be able to take, there's 5 assessments and it focuses on things like your values, your interests, your personality, your skills, and then your leisure activities. And so it's a really neat resource, and I'll kind of click on it for you. I already have my login, so I'll show you what it would look like from the student side so you can see that. It's a neat resource because it takes your answers and shows you majors at Troy. You guys are all, I think, in the College of Arts and Sciences, so hopefully your major is pretty secure, but if you're still kind of wandering around in that area, this could definitely help you out. And I will show you, I've taken all 4 of the assessments that we say, and then there's also the leisure one that you could take as well. But I'll show you what it looks like when you combine those together. And so you'll see it will start to show just different occupations that appear based on my answers. And so you can kind of build all of that together. So it's going to show you occupations and then specific majors offered at Troy. So even if you have your major kind of picked out, but maybe you're wondering, you know, what can I do with my criminal justice degree or what are some options in that field? This will give you kind of some outside of opinions and maybe some career titles that you've never heard of or thought about before. Another cool thing is you can click on all of these links here and learn more. So you can learn more about that job description, some of the key tasks, and how well it matches your answers that you gave in the assessment. If I click back again, back to that other page, and we're looking at some of the answers, you'll also see a breakdown in salary and job family. And so just different ways for you to keep exploring some options that you may want to go into. So I'm going to click back over to our website again. So back on that career exploration page for you. If you are pretty sure on what you want to go into, you might find the links down here at the bottom the most helpful. So you'll see we have the ONET and then the Bureau of Labor Stats. Both of these are websites that will help you, again, continue to explore those major and career options that you're interested in. So they do about the same thing. It's really just personal preference for the student on which one they prefer. So, you know, play around with both of those and then you'll find the one that works best for you and what you're looking for. I typically just use the search box right here, and that will help you be able to search for what you're interested in. So again, if we just do criminal justice, you'll type it in and you click enter, and then it's going to pull up different career options for you. So again, it's not really listed in like number one being the best option. It's just showing you some different things that you may or may not have thought of. And so let's find one. Let's say you want to be, I don't know, a police detective. That sounds kind of fun. So you'll click on that one and it's going to show you some of the daily tasks that you would probably be doing, some of the technology that you would need, different skills that you should have, and work activities. And I'm going to scroll a little bit down here to the bottom. What I like about this is it shows you education level required. So sometimes you'll see, oh, I'm going to have a master's degree to go into that field. Or with this one, you'll see that maybe even a college degree isn't necessarily required, but could be helpful to you to keep advancing in that field. And then when you scroll, the last thing that I want to show you is that it shows you salary range and projected job growth. So I think that's really important right now when you're thinking about that as a student and choosing the career that you want to go into. You want to keep in mind, you know, median salary. So that means somewhere in the middle. Some people will make less than that. Some people will make more than that. And then also how fast is that field growing, just so that way you're prepared whenever you choose to enter into that specific field. So that's pretty much it as far as career exploration. Again, the Bureau of Labor Stats would do something very similar to that, but I don't want to take up too much time discussing those options. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then Donna, if you want to pick up with anything.
Okay, we'll look at Big Interview, give you kind of a brief overview. Let me share my screen. And I have it already. I guess I should show you this. From the Career Services page, you can actually click the button here to go into Big Interview, or you can, or just type in troybiginterview.com, and it'll take you to the home page. But when you log into Big Interview, you'll need to create an account. Once you create your account, then you'll see this page, which is the home page, is full of some really good tutorials. The fast track, if you have an interview coming up quickly, you'll spend time here and it'll give you some really good solid information to prepare for your interview. If maybe you're planning to interview after graduation and you have time to spend, you'll want to use the mastery track because there's some really detailed information here. Resume curriculum, it's a wonderful tool for learning to create a resume, the do's and don'ts, things that you just really don't want to include on a resume, and maybe things you never thought about including on a resume. And you can also build one here. But to start practicing, I don't remember if I said that, but this is a wonderful tool for practicing your interview, answering questions. You can actually video yourself answering the questions and send those videos to Career Services, to an instructor, or even to someone in a hiring position that you might like to have feedback from. To start practicing, you would just click on the practice button, practice interviews, and you'll see you can choose from several different categories, from industry to competency, skill set, government, veterans. For our purposes, we'll just click into general. And then you'll see that you can choose from standard, challenging, tough questions, all different levels of interview questions, all the way to uncomfortable questions. And we'll just, if we have time, y'all stop me if I spend too much time here, but we'll just click on one of these quickly. And I'm using my webcam already, so it's not going to allow me to use it here to also. but you would want to allow your webcam. And then once you do that, you'll see yourself in the box here. And then there'll be a little record button, and you would just record yourself answering the questions. But this, just give you. Okay, you can see that hers are pretty basic questions. You still would need to spend time researching the answers. It does require a little thought. If you have questions about answering any of the questions, interview questions, you can click on tips, and it's going to give you some feedback and a little information about answering those questions. And you definitely would probably need to spend some time here before you start recording. But let me give you a little bit tougher, an example of a little bit tougher question. Still in entry level. Miss Lancey's a little tougher. And again, it's not going to allow me to use my webcam in 2 different places, but.
We won't be able to hear the questions if you'd like to repeat them, Donna. There's something special you have to enable. There's something special I should have showed you how to enable to make that work.
Okay, all right. Well, we won't spend time with that. I know we don't have a lot of time there. But anyway, you'll need to spend time listening to the questions and reviewing the tips and making sure you write down your answers and practice them before you start recording. And then once you have recorded your answers and you're satisfied, then you would just go to My Videos, and you'll see the videos that you've saved here. And you can either select all to either delete or share. So if you're happy with your videos or your recordings, you can share them. And then, of course, I'm going to share them with Troy online. Well, if I can spell, I will. Okay, and then once you click in the address for whom you would like to send your videos, you need to add email, because if you don't, it will not send the email. So make sure you click on add email, and then just type a little message here, and just a little short message, and then share. And then since I sent those to Troy online, I would receive those videos, and I can click into those videos, provide feedback, and then you would be able to review the feedback from the videos. So it's a really great tool. A lot of instructors are using Big Interview now as assignments in their courses. In that case, your instructor will certainly give you instructions for using the assignment, but this is where you would access the assignments. And we have a lengthy video and some other tutorials that we will share with students and faculty that gives you a lot more detail as far as using Big Interview and some of our other tools. But we'll be glad to share those at a later date. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them now.
You have a question from Ryan Brewer coming in, Donna, and he's asking regarding interview prep resources, are there any options available to prepare for computer science grads to prep for coding interviews, such as whiteboard coding challenges? He's currently using leetcode.com.
Okay, well, this is our current tool. Now, there are some industry standard questions within Big Interview that you might want to explore, and you might also want to talk to some experts in your field and get some ideas of some of the questions that they might ask. So that would be my advice there. But as far as other tools, this is what we're currently using at Troy.
Thank you, Donna.
Okay, should I stop sharing now or?
Sure, that sounds fine.
Okay, all right. Okay, stop sharing, and I think Miss Lauren Cole would like to talk about Handshake.
Okay, yeah, let's go from here. So we've talked about the front end of career services where we are looking to secure that we've got the right major. And then if you know your major, you know your minor, but you're exploring different careers associated with different industries, Then we move on to having the information about resumes. We're building the resumes, building the CVs, and then interview skills. So as we're going from there into our job search process, actually, I'll go through just like Donna and Emily did from our homepage. We have lots of help down here. I think somebody asked about virtual interview tips. We have those under interviewing and a lot of other tips there. But if you want to scroll up on our
wait, I'm sorry, Lauren, are you sharing your screen? We're not able to see it at the moment.
Not. I got ahead of myself.
We'll do a redo there.
Thank you. All right. Are we good? Let's see. So when we are looking at our website, then when you scroll down, you're going to see where all the resume help is and interviewing tips and all of that. But then when we're talking about job searching, we do have a tile here for job searching that will give you some great information, some great tips. But our job search platform that has jobs and internships really are held in Handshake. So my first kind of caveat for Handshake is it's not the end all be all. It is a job search engine, just like others are, like your Monster and your Indeed. But the good thing about it is we have some personal relationships of employers that come to different campus locations for career fairs, or they reach out to us directly. So that's why we do recommend students go into Handshake and job search there, and then to let us know what they're looking at. But when you click this right here, it's actually just going to let you click this blue button that says Troy Students. And you, thankfully, if you're already in the network, if you're already logged in, or you just use your Troy email and password to log in, so you don't have to do another password and all that. So when you get into Handshake, there is actually a brief little video. It's less than a minute that Miss Leora posted on our chat feature early in the conversation. If you want to scroll back up, that gives you a real quick overview of Handshake. But what I would encourage you to do is, of course, you're going to scroll through the jobs. There's going to be jobs and internship postings here. I would also encourage you, not just the jobs, but go over to employers and do some searching there, because as we know, every employer doesn't have a job posted all the time. But if you're looking in a certain region or by a certain major or by a certain industry, that might be where you want to start looking. And of course, apply for any you're interested in here in Handshake, or sometimes the employer just links to their website. But we like to offer the additional help where we can. We are happy to try to reach out to employers. If they are in Handshake, then we most of the time can find a contact person that is better than just a generic info at email address. We can normally find a person in HR. So we're happy to do that for you and pass along your resume. Or if you're interested in employers that we don't currently have a relationship with, then please let us know and we will try to reach out to them directly. We're happy to pass along your resume, but also just to make a connection for Troy so that they start to post in Handshake or recruit for us at Troy. So I would do some searching here under employers, and then we're going to have different events. Yesterday, we had a virtual event by, there were actually, let me say first, you'll see a host of different events that employers who are already Handshake employers are hosting virtually. So feel free to take advantage of these. We had one yesterday that was the U.S. Department of State. One of their recruiters did a live event, with a virtual live event with about 10 participants total, and told us all about his career in diplomacy. So there are a lot of really cool things we're able to do virtually that are in Handshake as well. So that's the event tab. And when we jump back over, the other thing I would point out in Handshake is under the Career Center, you're going to see different locations that you can make appointments with. And of course, now we would be sending you a link in Teams or Zoom potentially, but mostly Teams, to meet with us virtually. And then when you are a graduating senior, you will start to see emails from Handshake, from Troy Career. That is your first destination survey. We are tasked with gathering the information for our graduates. Where are they going to be working? Do they have a full-time job? Are they still seeking a job? Are they continuing their education? So if you receive that survey, that really helps the value of your Troy degree if you will fill that out. And that is all in Handshake. But just in a general way, Handshake is our job and internship posting database. So that is a good start for our students to start exploring jobs. And again, it's not the silver bullet, as probably most of you guys know, especially if you are an adult learner, but traditional students as well. I don't like to say it's about who you know, but it's really about the effort that you put into networking. So it's about you building your own network, you getting out and when we can, if ever, shake hands, but introducing yourself to people virtually, getting your resume in front of as many people as possible. And of course, that starts with your own network, friends, family, friends of friends, friends of friends of friends, getting that out as much as possible. But then we try to help our students build their resumes as well, so that we can try to reach out to employers for you if ever you need that help. And it's not a guarantee in any way, but under our job searching tab here, of course, we just go through some of those basics that many of you probably already understand and know, but it's just so important to remember. So there's a couple of good videos on here that you may want to check out as well. All right. So that's what we can be doing now is when we're starting to search for jobs and internships, is really starting to compile a list, being very organized about who you've reached out to, letting us know who else we can reach out to for you on your behalf, and try to find a good contact.
Thank you, Lauren. You're getting a couple of questions from the chat box, and the first ones are from Erica Barnes-Ford. Erica's asking, does Career Services record those virtual career fairs in Handshake like the one that the U.S. State Department did? And she's also asking, how are people learning about the sessions if we're not using Handshake?
Okay, good question. So we did not record the one yesterday, but that is something we will make note of and try to do. I would have to get the approval by the employer on the front end. Typically, it is their Zoom session or team session. So I will start to incorporate that in. So maybe we can host that. We have a brand new YouTube page that we're getting ready to roll out that has some presentations on it. We will send that out via email. I hope you'll start to see that soon. And that is actually where we could probably host those employer overviews. So I will check into that. Good question. That's helpful. And the other way is our social media. So Troy Online Career and our Troy Career, we are both very present on a lot of different social media channels. So if you look for Troy Career on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we've started a LinkedIn account. We publicize very frequently all of the events we have going on. And of course, we send emails out as well to students. They can come from Handshake or they may come from Troy Career, but social media is the updated kind of to the minute type of advertisement that we have going on for our events, but we do send out emails as well.
And I'll pop in and say that we also import and update all students every semester or term into Handshake. So Erica, I just checked and you do have a Handshake account. You just may not know about that, or maybe it's something new to you. So you'll actually log in with your Troy email address and then whatever password you typically use for all of your Troy accounts. And then you'll be able to see what Lauren was showing you there as well. So you could search for whatever informational sessions you're interested in, even if you don't get an email from us about those.
Any other questions? So I know that's just really a broad overview of all of our services, but you know, we feel most students fall somewhere on the spectrum of kind of just getting started, perfecting their resume, working on their interviewing, or really hunkering down in that job search process. So we're here to help you guys. As Donna showed you on the front end, All of our individual campus contact information is on our website, but we can help direct you to whoever the right person liaison is for you. So feel free to reach out to us. Our website's our jumping off point. That gives you the good broad overview. But from there, we're happy to try to help you individually reach out to specific employers or perfect your resume or work on your interview skills, whatever it is.
And I can't say enough good things about this team here. Sorry, I'm getting some feedback, so I'm going to go ahead and. John, I'm muting you just temporarily, and then you can unmute yourself again. I cannot say enough wonderful things about these three ladies, and it's Donna I've been working with for years and years, and every time I have a student in Atlanta that needs a resume review or needs help with a cover letter, they provide actual, real-time assistance, and so I can't encourage everybody enough to take advantage of them and do so while you're still early on in the program. Don't wait until you graduate and come back and say, I'm ready to start my job search. Because while you're in the program, you have the magic keys to the kingdom. There's people that want to mentor you. There's people that are happy to give you advice and info interviews. Once you graduate, it's just harder. But I can't say enough wonderful things about this team here that we have the pleasure of hosting today. John, I'm sorry. Did you want to unmute and ask a question?
Yeah, my question was for Emily. Could she go into the part she went into just to show me how she got in there? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Emily,
Okay,
you're
I
muted.
think I'm unmuted now. Okay, I'll be glad to, John. Let me share my screen again with you guys, and I'll take you back there. Okay, so if you go back to the Career Services homepage, so it's just my.troy.edu/career-services, and I'm waiting on mine to load so I can show you that. And then you'll scroll down until you see all of those boxes. These are all the services that we offer. And so I'm going to specifically click on the first one, Career Exploration. And then I believe you're talking about the resources that I was showing you. So the first thing I mentioned was the assessment. So that's at the beginning of the page. And then the resources that I talked about at the end are at the very bottom. If you scroll down, then you'll see links, and you'll see 3. And the 2 that I talked about were ONET and the Bureau of Labor Stats. And you'll just click on whichever box you want to go to, and it will take you directly to that website. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, Leora, I may mention as well, I forgot this. We're working, Donna can speak to this, that we're working to work with other schools in our conference, and I think the Conference USA schools as well, to do one large virtual career fair. That'll be near the end of May. So we don't know who all is registered for that yet, and we're kind of waiting on that. UAB is the head school for that, but we hope to compensate for the fact that we were not able to have some of our own campus career fairs around all of our different campuses and our employer relationships. We hope that by the end of this semester, late May, this summer, we can have a large online virtual career fair. So again, follow our social media and kind of stay in touch with us so that we can roll that out to everybody.
Wonderful. That's great news. And we have a question coming in, I believe, from Rajiv. He's wondering, what kind of job offers do students graduating from biomedical sciences have? So if you want to find job offers about a specific program that you're in, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, so well, in a broad way, I would again go back to Handshake. So it's half your own networking. Putting in to find a job is like a full-time job. Putting in the amount of time to make connections in your industry using any way you can through Troy alumni, through faculty, staff, through family, friends of friends. But beyond that, using Handshake and contacting us, as I mentioned earlier. But of course, whether we see a lot of our biomedical sciences students going into professional schools, we're happy to try to put you in touch with any of those if you need that help. And actually, with that said, we know that there are a lot of documents that have to be really perfected if you're applying for a professional school. So statement of intent, we're doing an Instagram live session with our learning center, our tutoring center next Tuesday. So you'll see that on social media, where we are combining with them to make sure our statement of intents and our cover letters are just right. But beyond that, I'm working hand in hand with a young lady, an international student who is actually interested in working in the lab setting. So just individually, she is sending me employers she's interested in. We're trying to reach out for her. And just, it's really kind of a one-on-one basis a lot of times. So it's either in the bulk general way, look through Handshake and search by major and find those types of employers that are recruiting in that major. And then beyond that, we're happy to try to help drill down on an individual basis of the area you're interested in.
And I would complement that by saying at the academic side of the house, sometimes in every department, there's one or two people that have been around a while, and they'll stay in touch with those alumni, and they'll know where they'll end up.
Definitely.
So for biomedical sciences, probably Janet Miss
100%.
Gaston would know all that. So we can sometimes, between all of us, tell you who the insider might be to check on that as well.
Totally agree. Yes, thank you.
Great. Other questions?
Emily just added our social media account, so that's very helpful. If you guys are active on social media, that's a great way to follow us.
Hey, ladies, this is Erica. Excuse me. I'm curious in knowing, do not online students, but do the traditional campus students, are they advised to join this different social media sites as a friend? Because honestly, I don't know if I'm a distance learner, and I know that I only recently became an Instagram follower, but I've never even contemplated being a Facebook friend or Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. So I was just wondering if that's something that's advised, and if not, maybe that should be.
Yeah, we try to get the word out. And honestly, it's kind of just the time in which we live. We pretty much send everything out via email, but students get so many emails, as do faculty and staff, that sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle. So that's where we started to not only email, but go above and beyond and do the social media promotions. But we do, every time we speak to a class or when we're promoting events, we include that social media in our emails and our publications.
That's great. I'm going to start recommending to my other friends and other folks who are on the online classes that they definitely need to join those different sites. So thanks for that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And I think that once you start looking, you'll probably see that there's a lot of other offices or organizations that are on there as well. So I know as a distance learner, some of those may not be as relevant to you, but even a lot of the departments have some sort of social media page where they'll post specific information. So just do a little research, and whenever you're on those pages, see maybe who follows us or who we follow, and that way you might be able to kind of expand that Troy network for yourself on social media.
Do you all have LinkedIn accounts?
We do. Ours is fairly new. So we're still kind of developing the contacts there, but we definitely do. And I know the university does as well. And that's actually a great question to ask, because not only does our office, but I think I could probably speak for myself and our coworkers, we all have our own individual LinkedIn accounts, and I connect with so many people through LinkedIn. And I do, now, if there's a very small size company, this may not be true, but medium and larger size companies, I repeatedly hear them say they use LinkedIn to try to vet out and find candidates, especially before this virus came around and when the economy was really booming. They were actively using LinkedIn to try to network and make contacts.
Great points. So students that are here today, what's one new thing that you've learned that you could take away that we didn't know before 2:30 p.m. Central Time today? Erica says all of it.
Thank you.
Yes, it was all very useful because I actually had that Handshake app on my phone, but it looked so complicated, I just kind of ignored it. But due to this, it helped me understand it a whole lot better. So I'm
Great.
definitely gonna go in there and use those career services. It was very helpful.
Great.
That's what Lily like to
I
hear.
like the idea. I like the idea that you all are also connected to LinkedIn. That's a great idea.
And I tell students a lot, be bold in reaching out and following up. There, of course, is the line that we don't want to cross. We don't want to drive an employer crazy and contact them every day. But the majority of students or any of us really default to not following up often enough or not reaching out often enough. So utilize those resources like LinkedIn and alumni, find a commonality with people. Often they want to help or they want to hear from a Troy student and how they can help you or at least be a sounding board. And we, of course, don't have to ask, are you hiring right now? Do you have a job? Really trying to make a connection, develop some type of a professional relationship in a way. And you're really just asking them for advice.
I see
I have a quick question for you. Oh, sorry, I can wait.
No, you're fine. You go ahead. I'll answer it in the chat box in just a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, my question is in the career services stuff. One thing that is you're not taught this, but when pretty much etiquette in terms of when to follow up or when it's okay to follow up after an interview or after a phone interview. Do you have stuff like that on the career services page?
I think on the interviewing page and the networking page, we may speak to that a little bit. Honestly, I'd have to go back and look. Donna or Emily, do y'all know? In our presentations that we give classes that we're going to have available virtually on our YouTube page, we do speak to that.
I feel like it's mostly in the presentations that we give or that one-on-one interaction that we're having with students. It's not so much like listed specifically in a resource on our website, but that's something to consider adding or putting in a presentation so that way students would be able to find it there. I know we have a thank you note example, just because whenever you're interacting with an employer, we're always going to encourage you to send some sort of thank you letter or email. And so there's some instructions on what that would look like, but not a specific follow-up example for you there.
Hey, I don't know if you guys have seen, but Ryan has a question as well in the chat.
Yes, that's what that's the one I was going to answer. So he's asking if we have resources to show the right keywords for automated screening and then advice for what to post on LinkedIn. So I can answer the resume portion of that. I don't think we have anything linked directly on our website, but you'll see that we use the term action words or action verbs, and that's what we're going to encourage you to use on your resume. So typically you're not going to want paragraphs or full sentences. You're going to want bullet points that start with those action words. And what we suggest to all students is that you Google action words for resumes, and there's whole resources, PDFs, websites that have all kinds of wording for you to use. And the key there is to find the terminology that's relevant in your field. So whenever you're looking over those job descriptions, if you see managed, organized, led, I don't know, it depends on your major, whatever it is, but use some of those keywords for the field, and that's going to help you with the automated pre-screening and just stand out when actual eyes land on your resume. And I think in the career services guide that's on the main page on our website that Miss Donna Brown showed you, it has an article about the automated resume review systems and some tips and tricks for that as well, Ryan.
Thank you, Emily. And Erica also posted a question as for Handshake. Are most of the employers there in Alabama? I know I've done some searches and found a lot of things in Atlanta, Georgia, but what's the scale of Handshake?
Yeah, it's a national resource. So we occasionally have international companies even come in, but we limit those. But yeah, it's companies from all over. Now, what happens is employers buy into Handshake and become a Handshake school, but then they have to personally say we want to recruit choice students as well. So that's what's a little bit more pinpointed about Handshake than a Monster.com, Indeed, that kind of thing. So we know they want to specifically connect with us as a university, but they are from all over. I'd say heaviest in the Southeast. But we see, and maybe there's a little bit larger percentage that are in Alabama, but not by a significant amount.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And I know, I think Ryan had also asked about advice on what to post on LinkedIn. And it's really your virtual resume. So, but you have more room with a resume. If you're a traditional undergraduate student, then we're going to try to keep you to about a page if that fits your industry. If it's graduate school or you have more experience in that, then most employers are going to say 2 pages or less. So, but LinkedIn, you can really elaborate on some things. You can take the basis of your resume that we can make sure is good. We can review that for you, put it on LinkedIn, but then elaborate. Try to, as Emily was saying, use those descriptive adjectives and really put proof of work where you can. If you have any kind of portfolio materials that are online that you can link to, use LinkedIn to your advantage because it's electronic. So you can link to other things you have done or just having the LinkedIn set up. But it doesn't have to be that one page. So it gives you a little wiggle room.
And there's also a lot of great resources in LinkedIn, like you can ask for recommendations from either professors that you're connected with on LinkedIn. So that way it kind of serves as a reference page as well. So it's kind of a cover letter, resume, reference page, profile about you all at one time. So you definitely want to make sure that you have a professional profile picture as well. Some students don't have one, so they don't have a picture, and then you're less likely to be seen. So even if you don't have a headshot necessarily, just have someone take, a professional picture of you from the shoulders up and upload that, and that helps. And then connect with as many people as you can and ask for them to kind of give you some feedback or recommendation there. And then the neat thing is you can actually take the link to your LinkedIn profile, insert that on your resume, and that will encourage employers to also go there to find more information.
You mentioned profile picture. The one you see on the screen there, does that look sufficient? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I think that one would work. It's a plain background and you're dressed nicely, so that's usually what we're looking for the most. A lot of the pictures I can see, us who work at Troy, we've got that nice cardinal red background, but at home you won't have that. You just don't want to have a lot of distractions in the background or another person or pet or anything like that with you. So make sure that they can see your face clearly.
Donna, do you have anything to add on the job searching for adult learners?
Handshake is a great resource. And again, just reiterating what Lauren said, your networking. Networking is key. Talking to people doing even some little job interview sessions with different employers. Just take spend 30 minutes talking to an employer, find out the inside and outside of the work environment and how to network within that environment. They can all, a lot of times even if that particular industry is not hiring, they can refer you to someone in another company that may be hiring. So always just network and work with the people you know, and that's really a really good resource.
So Leora, any other questions? I think we've covered most of the generic services we offer, but we are available for individual consultations too.
That's wonderful. And actually, that was going to be my question, Lauren. Good softball pitch, right?
Good to me. Yeah.
So you did. You're good at that. So if one of these people are inspired, or the students are inspired, and they want to meet with one of you guys for a consult or follow up with a question, what is the best way to get a hold of you? Would it be through that website, or what's the portal they should use to?
Yeah. Just hop on the website, and whoever you're looking for by campus, you are welcome to just find our email address. Or I know Troy campus, we have appointments set up through Handshake as well. So either way.
Okay, and we are getting one last question, and that is from Erica, and she's saying, do we have relationships with other universities or professional schools? Erica, I'm assuming, do you mean for doctoral programs and that sort of thing? Because I know that she is headed towards a doctoral program shortly. Was that what you're asking, Erica?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
You'll see some in Handshake. There are definitely professional schools that reach out, that post, and then they send us emails sometime too. I would have to look into, I think that'd be a little bit more on a case-by-case basis for any specific school. So we're happy to be a go-between. We really kind of look at our office like a bridge most of the time anyway, whether it's between employers and students with jobs or professional schools. We can do some individual reaching out, but the ones that we do have would be in Handshake.
Okay. And I think I meant to say informational interviews earlier that I did not say, but that's a really good resource. Spending time working with some individuals that you might know in a particular company, and just do some informational interviews. Ask the questions about the environment of the company, how you get in touch with other people, how you build that network, and that's a really great resource.
Absolutely. And, if I'm going to try to push out that career blueprint, we call it the blueprint or the roadmap. And even if you're an undergrad, you could do this, but it has informational interviews as one of those 12 steps. And especially for those of you that might have a little extra time on your hands right now, this would be a great time to go through the career blueprint and say, okay, which professional associations, which info interviews, how do I get one of these wonderful professionals to look at my resume, so that by the time that you've graduated, you already have a job or have a strong leads on one. Again, as I was saying before the session, don't wait until you're graduated. Go ahead and start now. Like Ms. Cole said, you want to treat it like a job. Isn't that sort of what you were saying, Lauren?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. And it's, as you guys know, it takes a while to do this, and it's a balance that we have to find while we're a full-time student, full-time parent, full-time employee, whatever our roles are. So going ahead and doing that little by little, the more you can now. And I also saw a question come in about professional networking, organizations, conventions, and the like. And yes and no, we're happy to help you dig for those, but your department, your major, your faculty in your department are probably going to be the best resources for major and industry specific organizations. So I would say check with them first. If you come up empty-handed, then we're happy to help you dig a little bit.
Perfect. Well, I want to take a moment and thank Emily and Donna and Lauren for coming today. Y'all did an amazing job. And I know that you're going to get a lot of follow-up inquiries and folks wanting help for resumes, which is exactly why we did this. And I've worked with your office a long time, and I cannot thank you enough for helping our students succeed. That's what we're here to do at the end of the day. And you three are at the heart of that. So thank you very much. And we'll stick around for anybody that has kind of non-career questions or wants to just chat about how things are going. But unless anybody has anything else, you all have any other concluding words, we'll stop the recording here if you'd like.
Leora and her team are some of the best advocates for being ahead of the curve in the career. They are doing some great work. So you guys are in a great program.
Absolutely.
Thank you, ladies, so much for
Thank
coming.
you
I'm going to go
all.
ahead and stop the recording now,
Okay.
but stick
Okay.
around if anybody wants to.